Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Now, this evening's story is dedicated to Leon and his dog Oggy. So they look and watch at bedtime stories quite regularly, and Leon asked if I would do The Detective Dog. The Detective Dog by Julia Donaldson, and the pictures by Sarah Ogilvie. Now, thank you, Leon, for the request, and also thank you for the lovely message you sent me today, which really made my day, made me cheer right up, so thank you. And also, I hope you and your dog are sitting comfortably, as well as everyone else. What I've got tonight is I looked out all the dogs I have in my house. Unfortunately, I don't have a real dog. I've only got 2 cats. My daughter would love a real dog, but we don't have one because I work in schools and I'm not home enough. But maybe one day I'll be lucky to have a dog like you do. So I've got all my dogs lined up here, and I've even got Gromit. And then I found this dog. Look, this is an unusual one. Because you see, what kind of dog do you think this is? Yeah, it's actually meant to be a Dalmatian, but if you look more closely, underneath, it's a cat. And I had to turn a cat into a Dalmatian for a play once in a while, once a long time ago. So this poor little Dalmatian dog that was a cat is still a Dalmatian. So he's going to sit there too. And I've got a little border collie as well sitting beside me. So we'll get started with the story, and I hope you enjoy it. Other people at Assembly this morning said it was their favourite book too. So let's get started, because I think it's quite a long one. Here we go, The Detective Dog. There was once a dog with a keen sense of smell. She was known far and wide as Detective Dog Nell. Sniff, 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 time after time, Nell the detective solved a crime. Who threw hazelnuts down from the trees? Who took the honey away from the bees? Who did the poo on the new gravel path? And how did the spider get in the bath? Sniff, 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 with a wag of her tail, Nell the detective was hot on the trail. Nell shared her house with a person called Peter, a very nice child, though he could have been neater. And 6-year-old Peter was one of those boys who kept on mislaying his clothes and his toys. Sniff, 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 nose to the ground. These are the things the detective dog found. The bus in the bowl, and the book on the bed, the sock on the sofa, and the shoe in the shed. The tumble-down teddy, the bounce-away ball. Nell the detective discovered them all. Very clever dog. Now Nell did detection from Tuesday till Sunday, but something totally different each Monday. She found Peter's bag and she tracked down her lead, then off for the school where she heard children read. The children loved reading their stories to Nell, and Nell loved to listen and also to smell. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Mixed in the air were plasticine, custard and newly washed hair. The crusts in the bin and the coats on the hooks, but the best smell of all was the smell of the books. Books about dinosaurs, books about knights, books about planes and meteorites, books about princes turned into frogs, books about dragons and books about dogs. But then came a Monday when all was not well. Nell sniffed the air and she smelled the wrong smell. Into the classroom the two of them hurried and found Mr. Jones looking terribly worried. He tugged on his hair and he let out a sigh. Peter looked round and he started to cry. Sniff, sniff, sniff. What was going on? The books, cried out Peter. The books have all gone. Nell gave a growl when she heard the bad news, but then started sniffing, looking for clues. Sniff, sniff, sniff. On the bookshelf, a cap. The thief must have dropped it, the terrible chap. Nell sniffed the cap. Then she tugged on the lead, and woof, she was off with astonishing speed. Everyone followed Detective Dog Nell. She stopped at the traffic lights. What could she smell? Sniff, sniff, sniff. Haddock and hay, pizza and penguins, and further away, the smell of a thief, and how very exciting. Thousands of pages, all covered in writing. Then woof, they were off with no time to stop. Past the farm and the zoo and the takeaway shop, they raced through a field where the rabbits smelled good, and over the golf course and into the wood. They thrashed through the undergrowth, leafy and dense, till they came to a gate in an old wooden fence. Then Nell started growling and pricked up an ear. She barked, ruff, and the bark meant the thief is here. They flung the gate open, and Peter cried, "Look!" for there sat a man with his nose in a book. There were many more books poking out of a sack, and the children yelled, "Those are our books! Give them back!" Sniff, sniff, sniff. The book thief looked sad. "I'm sorry," he said. "I know I've been bad. Stealing is wrong, but I just meant to borrow. I was planning on giving them back tomorrow." To borrow? To borrow? Nell pricked up an ear. She barked, woof, and the bark meant, "I have an idea." Then woof, she was off, and away they all sped, including the book thief who told them, "I'm Ted." Sniff, 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 they raced through the wood and over the field where the rabbits smelled good. They panted and puffed past the takeaway shop, the zoo and the farmyard with never a stop, except to retrieve Peter's scarf and his ball, which someone had thoughtfully placed on the wall, till they came to a building with the doors open wide. And what did they see when they all went inside? Thousands of books, from the floor to the ceiling. The books gave the thief the most heavenly feeling. He gazed in amazement. "Where am I?" he said. And Peter replied, "You're in the library, Ted. You can join if you want to. There isn't a fee. And then you can take out lots of books just for free." So Ted has his lovely new library card, and he sits reading books in his little backyard. And when it's Monday, Detective Dog Nell visits the school with a wonderful smell. Sniff, 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 with a faraway look. She smells and she listens to book after book. Books about dinosaurs, books about knights, books about planes and meteorites, books about princess who turns into frogs, books about dragons, and books about dogs. All the old books, and a new one as well. The story of daring Detective Dog Nell. There we go. I hope you enjoyed the story. That is the first time that I've properly heard that story. I didn't know that book before, And I'm so glad that you recommended it to me, Leon. I really enjoyed it, and I hope everybody else did too. Now maybe you could be writing your own detective stories. Maybe you could be writing all about your favourite books and do a little book review. Or maybe you could write your own book about your pet. I could write a book about my cats, or about Scooby my goldfish, who I've taken home from school during this time. Maybe you could write a story about your pets, or maybe you could draw a picture. And if you do, please share them with us. Please share them to the school page, or share them to your teacher, who'll share them with me. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good night's sleep and lovely dreams. And we'll see you online again tomorrow. Night night.